I'm starting to think this strategy of get all the best pitchers might be a good postseason strategy. Dodgers win again. Let's talk about it on All Dodgers. Coming at you live from my mom's basement in Pleasant Grove, Utah, along with Clint's mom's basement in beautiful Upwinnie, California, and Kevin's mom's kitchen in Illinois somewhere. This is the All Dodgers podcast, part of the Bleav Network podcast, brought to you by FanDuel. And we are here, boys, to talk about the Dodgers winning another baseball game. We said last night, Clint, we want the Dodgers to get greedy. After you win game one on the road, you think, okay, well, we might as well win game two. Also, that strategy worked in Philadelphia in the NLDS. The Dodgers seem to be taking the same strategy tonight, Clint. Up 2-0 in the series, heading home. It's not a bad time to be a Dodger fan.
I'm just happy that they listened to the show because otherwise, where would they get such brilliant strategy rather than just win all the baseball games you can? But taking 2 in Milwaukee, I'm saying it's stealing 2, even though today was a pretty they won this game handily with good offense, exceptional pitching from Yamamoto, dominant even as it says on the screen. Just as I said a few moments ago, a perfect baseball game, a perfect Dodger win. Randy Newman somewhere is happy.
Yeah, is Randy Newman alive? He is, right?
He is alive.
Okay.
He's still rolling over in his grave with joy.
The joyful grave roll. Kevin, you weren't with us last night because I think it was you weren't man enough. I can't remember the exact reason, but
he was
whatever
extra
it is,
manly.
We're glad you're here tonight. And you're not far. Did you consider driving up to Milwaukee to go to this game?
I did. I have to work, and Zainab wasn't feeling well. Otherwise, I did consider it.
It's what, like an hour drive?
Yeah, maybe 90 minutes. But yeah, it's let's hope I don't get the opportunity because it's not coming back. Seriously, not
blown opportunity.
No point coming back. Like you said, Clint, Yoshinobu Yamamoto. He gave up a home run on the very first pitch he threw tonight. Second time this postseason that we've seen a pitcher give up a home run on the first pitch. Second time in the last, 3 days? Because it was Bryce Miller to George Springer in game 1 of the ALCS. And then Miller ended up getting through 6 innings, didn't allow another run. Yamamoto got through 9 innings, didn't allow another run, only allowed, 2 more hits? 2 more hits the rest of the game. I think he walked 1. Yeah, so 3 more base runners the next 9 innings. That is a ratio that is going to be good for you every time. And it was just like, part of this was Dave Roberts learning from, if not a mistake, at least something he wishes had gone differently the night before. Yeah. Also, though, Yamamoto's pitch count was lower, and at least as importantly, Yamamoto gets the extra day off. Even if this series does go to game 6, Yamamoto will be going on 5 days rest, whereas Snell is only on 4 days rest. So it was kind of a perfect storm between the lower pitch count and the extra day off for Dave Roberts to say, yeah, you know what, Yamamoto, get back out there. I still don't think, if Blake Snell had just gone 7 innings last night and then the bullpen was fine, I don't think they send Yamamoto back out for the 9th inning tonight. What do you think, Clint?
Probably. I think that this was very much a, how starting rotations like to do. Anything you can do, I can do better sort of thing. Nobody would have had a complete game on the ledger for Yamamoto after Snell's domination. But if Snell had a ho-hum dominant 7-inning game, they're probably not going to push Yamamoto tonight. Thankfully, we got the treat of both of these performances. And like you said at the top, just stacking up all of the good pitchers you can, it's proving to be a good model this postseason in particular for the Dodgers.
Yeah, Kevin, do you think 17 innings, 1 run allowed from the starting pitching? You think that's you think Tyler Glasnow feels like he has his work cut out for him for game 3?
Yeah, he's gotta step up. He's gotta do basically what he did to the Phillies again. I think Alden Gonzalez tweeted out that over 8 postseason games, the Dodgers have the second lowest starter ERA with a 1.54, which I've heard is good. Low number is good, and 1.54 is indeed low numbers. #math baby. I said it repeatedly over this postseason, and I will continue to say it for as long as it's true. It is so nice to have starting pitching. Oh my goodness. All the postseasons that we had where we were running out dudes with arms held together by duct tape and hopes and dreams, or guys that just didn't have anything left. The corpse of Lance Lynn, just
I
like
was going to say, think of that 2023 rotation in heavy air quotes to this, my sweet word.
For
Even
that matter,
last year-
think of 2024.
Yeah,
Like,
even last year, like it was, Yama was there. He shoves, but your second best pitcher was Jack Flaherty, which I mean, he's fine, but guess what? He's not Tyler Glass now. He's not Shohei Ohtani. So it's so fun to watch. It's a real treat to see these guys pick up a ball and just shove on literally the biggest of stages. At the away ballpark. They're not at home at Dodger Stadium. The crowd is not behind them at all, and they just do not care.
Yeah, it's I'm wondering, there a couple days ago after our series preview episode the other day, there was a Brewers fan in our comments on YouTube that I had a little back and forth with. He thought we were very dismissive of the Brewers. I quoted to him the things we actually said so that he could argue with our words instead of his feelings. But he still thought we were pretty dismissive of them. And he said, do you honestly believe that all 4 Dodgers starting pitchers are better than Freddie Peralta? And I said,
Yes.
Yeah. Have you seen our 4 starting pitchers? And so I hope that guy is watching today. I wish you all the best in life. Obviously not in this series. I hope you're sad a couple more times in the next 3 days. But yeah, what we saw today is why
Emmett
the Dodgers...
Emmett Sheehan could probably go toe-to-toe at least a little bit with Freddie Peralta. That's no disrespect. Freddie Peralta's a very good pitcher. Emmett Sheehan is also a very good pitcher.
And I told him, all I was doing was quoting MLB's power rankings that had the 4 Dodgers starting pitchers in the top 7 pitchers still in the playoffs, and Freddie Peralta was number 8. So, but I said, yeah, I agree with those rankings. And we saw that today, And now what we have coming up is the 2 guys who, Tyler Glasnow against the Phillies. What did he do? 7 innings?
Yeah.
2 hits, something like that. Shohei Ohtani, similarly dominant against the Phillies.
No. Glasnow was 6. Remember, I complained because he could and should have gone longer, but he had the cramps.
Oh, that's right. You wanted something to whine about. Yeah.
Did he get cramps? He had cramps
now.
against the Phillies in this last series? Really?
Yeah, they said, Dave Roberts said that's why he took him out when his pitch count was still relatively low, because he had been cramping up in the 5th and 6th innings. He still pitched through those 2 innings. So,
just 6 innings, 2 hits, 8 strikeouts.
Yeah, that's what the Brewers. Imagine, I was just on the radio a minute ago, and I said the Brewers aren't going to say this out loud, but you imagine if you're a Brewers player right now saying, now we have to go on the road and try to beat Tyler Glasnow and Shohei Ohtani, and if we can beat one of them, then we have Blake Snell again. It's like they're not going to admit it, but I imagine if you're a Brewer, you can hardly even see, if you squint right, any path to winning this series at this point. I mean, I'm knocking on the closest. I think this is wood. I don't think I'm cheap. But
I don't think they have that luxury looking that far ahead. I think they just have to literally think about packing their bags and then getting on a plane and then getting to LA, and then they got to look 6 inches in front of them to have a chance. Because if, like you said, if they start looking big picture like that, that's just like the most daunting of tasks to try and conceive winning 2 games. I mean, they got to go out there pitch by pitch, inning by inning, because they start looking too far out in front of them, they're just going to fall over.
Yeah, that's a pretty insurmountable way to look at the picture is 5 steps ahead. I wasn't even going to bother to say that. I was just going to move ahead to the fact that the Dodgers have seen all of their bullpen. Like, that bullpen has been heavily exposed, which does not bode well for Milwaukee moving forward as well. So, I mean, if you're talking about being
especially because the Dodgers have scored off of Abner Uribe both times they faced him. He's their closer. He's their bullpen ace. And, we didn't see Trevor McGill or Jared Koenig today. They've got that in their pocket. But yeah, I mean, this is looking good. Let's get to a couple super chats real quick. Freezer Zero, $2 super chat says, Yoshi is my Oshi. I don't know what that means, but I like it. All right. Yeah. Francisco Diaz, $9.99 super chat says, for those of you who are old enough to remember, today felt like we were playing Super Mario World with Yoshi saying, hop on, boys. Got this tonight. We got greedy. Heading back to LA, up 2-0. Hashtag let's go Doyers. Yeah.
I don't understand the reference, but I like a good Super
Video
Mario
games.
World.
Hey, yeah,
Like, because the thing is with Yoshi, I mean, it's more of a ripcord where if you didn't make the jump, you could just murder the dinosaur and jump off of him and get that extra leap. But we didn't need to murder Yoshi today because he murdered the Brewers.
There we have it. Do we have to bleep out the word murdered? Like, I know they do that on the internet sometimes. Hey, Clint,
Figuratively.
Cole says our channel is the only channel using usenames.
I don't
is that
know
a
how
setting
that
on our
happened.
side?
I don't know how or why that happened to us yesterday. We will look into it.
Yeah.
It's probably a setting on Jeff's side because the last two shows he has run. So we'll look into
a setting
that.
within Ecamm?
Maybe. I don't know. Now's not the time to figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure that out some other time, I guess. But
All Dodgers report.
Yeah. Let's look though at our friends at FanDuel because believe it or not, the Dodgers' odds to win this series got even better after this win. The Dodgers are currently sitting at minus 1,300 to win this series, which honestly feels a little bit low. Like I feel like it could be minus 2,000 at this point. And to win the World Series, the Dodgers are currently sitting at minus 165.
Oh, wow, so they're actually favored now.
Yeah.
Like
last night they got to minus 115. Today they're at minus 165, which makes sense because if you're sure they're going to win the NLCS, then they're in the World Series. And so then it's like, who do you like more, the Dodgers or the Mariners? And the Mariners are at plus 185. And the Blue Jays and Brewers both technically still have odds to win the World Series, but that's just because FanDuel is being polite. But yeah, things are looking good for the Dodgers from a betting standpoint, from a game standpoint, all those things. Part of that is because in addition to Yoshinobu Yamamoto tonight, the offense showed up. And we've talked about how when your one weakness as a team is your bullpen, the way to get past that is for your starting pitching and your offense to make the bullpen irrelevant. And that's what we've seen. Last night, the bullpen, unfortunately, was relevant because the offense couldn't get much going against the bullpen game from the Brewers. It wasn't supposed to be a bullpen game, but it ended up being a bullpen game. And the offense couldn't really get it going. They did just enough to win. Tonight, it wasn't a blowout, but this is what we wanted to see, Clint, with this offense. Like, you ought to be able to put up 5 runs. And with this starting pitching, 5 runs is going to get you a win in relatively stress-free fashion.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, when your starter is able to go the distance, definitely 5 runs might help. Some of that September bullpen would make you a little bit worried about 5 runs, but even without the top of the lineup necessarily exceptionally performing, they didn't go at MV3 levels of performance. 1 through 4 had 3 hits in the game. I said this one earlier. 5 through 9 had 8 hits. Getting their walks in there. When the lineup does damage, top to bottom and scoring across the inning, like across 9 innings, that's usually going to be a telltale sign of a good game and a good win for the Dodgers. I know, breaking news, but seeing Teo, drop a bomb there to get us on top. Max Muncy, correcting the demons of last night, actually getting the ball over Sal Frelick's glove. Andy Pages actually made connection with the baseball that stayed fair. And Kike Hernandez did facilitator things like he has been doing all postseason long. Just a great performance when your MV3 aren't performing at MV3 levels. This is exactly what you want.
Yeah. What do you think, Kevin?
Yeah. It's so not only is it the score, it's how they scored. Like Clint just kind of summarized. It wasn't the long ball necessarily. They didn't heavily rely on it. They could have done without it today. Pages getting the ball to the opposite field is huge. And Tommy Edman coming in, big with a, I wouldn't say seeing eye single, but, beats the drawn in infield. And we've seen this from the Dodgers too, where they'll score like 2 or 3 runs in 1 inning and then just stop scoring. That wasn't really the case today. They scored in, I believe, 3 different innings. So again, it's being able to add on and keep adding on, keep building the momentum. Every time you shut down the Brewers, step on their throat a little bit more by tacking on another run. And that just, again, their eyes start getting a little bigger and bigger because it's that much harder to come back, obviously, when you score more runs. And I do think, Tommy Edman, getting that RBI in the 9th or the The ninth, yeah. Is part of the reason why Yamamoto was able to come back out, or the eighth or ninth, the last
Eighth inning.
Eighth inning.
Yeah.
Thank you. Was part of the reason why Dave felt it was fine to let Yamamoto come back out. Was not only was he being efficient, but it's 4 runs. Like, you just avoid a grand slam and you're fine. So I don't think obviously it would have gotten to that point before Dave pulled him, but it was really this is kind of what we've been hoping for and waiting for. And then shout out Max Muncy, and who now leads Dodgers all time in postseason home runs. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Surpassing JT and Siegs. That'll be a fun trivia question at one point, because I'm sure people will not necessarily imagine it's Max Muncy that tops that leaderboard.
Well, but it won't be Muncy for long, because Ron Roveltelt is coming for that title.
Postseason Dodgers legend.
Mark in the chat says, I'm happy there was at least one at bat where I couldn't confuse Ohtani with Joey Gallo. Yeah, Ohtani had some steps forward and some steps backward tonight. We talked last night about how it was a step forward kind of game. 0 for 2, but on base 3 times. Today he did strike out 3 times, but he also did finally get a big RBI hit in a pretty big situation. That was an important insurance run at that point. And when you look at up and down the box score, even though like you said, the big 3, the MV3, the big 4, whatever you want to call them, didn't do a ton, but the 5 runs were scored by 4 different guys. Kike is the only guy who scored multiple times. The 5 runs were driven in by 5 different guys. Everybody did something. Andy Pages drove in a run and had a big sack bunt that set up another run. We mentioned Kike had 2 hits. Teo had obviously the home run that was huge after, just getting back even in that second inning, right after Yamamoto had given up the home run to Churio, and Teo comes out and hits a home run, gets the Dodgers even. Pages later drives in a run in that same inning to get the lead. And it's like, okay, like just seeing how Yamamoto had settled down after the home run, you're like, okay, I still feel good about Yamamoto tonight. Didn't know how good we felt. Didn't know we were going to feel this good about Yamamoto. But for the Dodgers to punch back immediately was really good to see, because this was the Brewers' ace on the mound.
Yeah, I'll just say this, and then Kevin, you can cook there in the kitchen. Is for both Snell and Yamamoto. I don't want to say there was nothing going on, behind the eyes or whatever, but just the razor focus they had on doing their jobs. That type of stuff is sexy to see, man. I love starting pitching. Yeah, it's boring when aces, do ace things in the postseason for the general baseball, not baseball watching
people
population.
Not as smart as you is what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. But for me, you get me a good pitcher's duel, or at least one side of somebody just absolutely carving up the team with the most wins in the National League this year. That's a chef's kiss.
It's a good offense that he did that too. And when you walk away from a win like this, you mentioned how many pitchers the Dodgers have seen now, because the Brewers effectively basically threw 2 bullpen games like yesterday and today. They've seen, I believe, a total of 10 pitchers. I think one of the only pitchers they haven't seen that's worth mentioning is Mizorowski, who I presume we will see in the next game, because I don't know who else they're going to have to give them length. He did pitch 4 innings against the Cubs. I believe that was the game 2 of the NLDS. So that's one other arm. But I just, the amount of exposure the Brewers bullpen has had, against the Dodgers, you can't feel good. Yeah, they're down 0-2, but also man, their bullpen's got to get feel taxed at this point. Uribe's pitched both games. A lot of their guys have pitched both games. So it's a real hill to climb if they want to make this a series.
Real advantageous spot for the Dodgers. By the way, Jeff, did you see this thing? For the people who, I saw somebody in the chat saying, there's still a 19% chance that, teams in the past down 2-0 in a series have come back to win it. Pretty small. Thank you, Ray, for throwing that in there. Dave Vassay had tweeted it. Only 5 teams have come back in the best of 7 LCS history after being down 0-2. 85 Royals, 85 Cardinals, 04 Red Sox, 20 Dodgers, and 2023 Diamondbacks. They're not coming back. The Brewers are not coming back. Put it in writing.
Yeah, the thing that, for example, that the 2020 Dodgers had, the advantage they had was that they were the better team coming in. The Brewers don't have that advantage here. The Brewers are a good team, but the Dodgers were the better team coming in, and they won 2 games on the road and now get to go home. It could go 6 games. I'd be shocked if it goes beyond 6. I'll be surprised if it goes beyond 5. And I'm still thinking Dodgers in 4 at this point. Like, you know, it's I know you like the idea of a gentleman's sweep, Clint, and but you know what? I like the idea of not stressing. I like the idea of having time off before the World Series.
Yeah, save that for the World Series. Let's just sweep here because I would love to just enjoy my Saturday. That's what I would love to do.
And if the Mariners win in the American League, then the Dodgers have home field advantage in the World Series. We're not going to get too far ahead of ourselves here. We're not, even though we're just podcasters, we can't jinx anything. It doesn't exist. Speaking of announcer jinx, did you hear Steven Nelson totally pull a Joe Davis tonight?
I did not.
So one of my favorite things about Joe Davis is how good he is at, if you know he's doing it, you kind of see it, where he will set up. He's playing for the soundbite. When a pitch is about to come in, he'll say something that if something big happens on this pitch, it'll be a perfect soundbite when you're watching. Why do I keep saying soundbite? Soundbite. It'll be a perfect soundbite when you're watching the recap later on your MLB app or whatever. Joe Davis is great at that. Well, Steven Nelson tonight, he said, "We're just waiting on one of those big Max Muncy swings." And then, boom, 3 seconds later, the pitch comes in, and Max hits a home run.
He had the script, huh?
Nelly says, and there's one of those big Max Muncy swings. It was awesome. So whatever the opposite of an announcer jinx is, that's what Steven Nelson did tonight. I'm loving listening to Steven and Rick Monday on the radio broadcast.
So I switched to, shout out to if Rob Manfred is tuning in, please cover your ears for a second, but shout out to our buddy Richie Flores, because I got really tired of watching on the Spectrum app and being 2 weeks behind everybody else. So I'm back on the MLB TV thanks to Richie. On that's where I'm able to switch the broadcast, right? And I could hear.
Yeah. You can select your broadcast, and I've been doing that through the MLB app.
To do it.
It's been awesome.
I mean,
they're doing great.
They're not terrible. The broadcast crew for TBS is not terrible. Brian Anderson is good. The only thing that I don't know if it irks me or it's off-putting is that Jeff Francoeur sounds just painfully like Dave Vasse. The cadence and the words and just the voice sounds. I keep saying, like, how did Vasse get on this broadcast?
I could see that. I just don't like national broadcasts when I have a Dodger broadcast available. If I don't care about the game, national broadcast is fine. But if I'm a Dodger fan watching a Dodger game, I prefer a broadcast that's focused on the Dodgers. And so I'm loving listening to the radio broadcast. It's definitely the way to go for me.
There's 2 comments from Devin. One I don't agree with because he says that they're better than Steven Nelson, but one I do agree with, saying TBS announcers are so much better without Bob Costas. It was one of the best moves they could have done, was DFAing Bob Costas before this series, because he was bad. It just felt like he hated baseball. It felt too much every time, like he tried to make like a pitching change, some poignant moment happening in your life when it's just the Dodgers going from Anthony Bonda to Alex Vesey or something like that. Just Bob, your time in the sun has passed, and thank God they went to Brian Anderson. But I will be listening to Nelly and Mo moving forward.
But you digress. Hey, Clint, why don't you digress into telling our friends about Delete Me, okay?
I could definitely do that, guys. Delete Me makes it easy, quick, and safe to remove your personal data online at a time where surveillance and data breaches are common enough to make everybody vulnerable. It could happen to you. Delete Me can help. And I'm doing the hand thing. I'm gonna try to stop. I'm not. But anyways, data brokers, they make a profit off of you. They make a profit off of your data. Your data to them is a commodity. Anybody on the web can buy your information, your private details. That could lead to identity theft, phishing attempts, harassment, so on and so forth. But now you could protect your privacy with Delete Me. If you've ever been the victim of identity theft or know somebody who has, or somebody being harassed, doxing, it's just awful. It's the worst. Thankfully, I have not, but I do know a couple people who have been the victims of identity theft, and it is a nightmare to get everything sorted back to not being thieved. So anyways, you guys can take control of your data and keep your private life private by signing up for Delete Me now at a special discount for our listeners. You can get 20% off your Delete Me plan when you go to joindeleteme.com/hit. Use a promo code HIT, that is HIT, at checkout. You get that 20% off. The only way you get 20% off is if you go to joindeleteme.com/HIT and use the promo code HIT at checkout. Thank you to, I was going to say HIT. Thank you to Delete Me for sponsoring all Dodgers.
Nailed it.
And I did the hand thing right away again.
And that's all right, you know.
What do I do? What do I do with my hands?
I mentioned on Twitter, if Ron Rovoltelt had been catching tonight, Yamamoto would have thrown 13 innings. I just want to say Will Smith has been catching the last 2 nights, and the pitching has been excellent. Reinforcing my point that
they're calling a lot of their own. Snell called the entire game.
Yeah, and my point has always been pitchers pitching well. Pitchers deserve most of the credit. You know, they need somebody to throw to. Got to be comfortable with them. Not diminishing Ron Rovoltelt at all, or Ben Rortvedt. If I'm saying I'm not diminishing him, maybe I should say his real name instead of Clint's name for him. But yeah, Will Smith, shout out to him. To the extent that catchers deserve credit for a great pitching performance, Will Smith would give you exactly that much credit for the last 2 nights. Tonight,
I was gonna say, can we give some credit though? You kind of glossed over the Kike Hernandez, and I did. I don't know if it's lambast you over on Dodgers territory, but obviously the 3 of us have been texting a little bit here and there, and I feel like Kevin. I don't know if you agree with me, but I feel like Jeff has been really trying to hopefully find a way to throw some disrespect on Kike's name. Would you say there's at least a hint of accuracy to that?
I think
you could poop on him here. This is the time.
He's a skeptic, and that's fine. He's allowed to be a skeptic, but we know there are real believers out there in Geektober, and he's arrived. The calendar has turned.
I want nothing more than for Kike Hernandez to be successful in October. And
I guess I said that wrong, yeah.
And I'm very happy with how he's been playing. He's batting .379 with a .972 OPS this October.
It's
yesterday.
Not with the
I gave him a hard time yesterday that he had 2 hits, and it was the 2 times he came up without runners on base. The 2 times he came up with opportunities to drive him runs, he didn't. We saw more of that today, but he also started 2 rallies. Like I said, he scored 2 runs, and you can finish a rally or you can start a rally. And so I will absolutely take it. The fact that Kike, when you're starting an inning, it wasn't his fault that yesterday when he hit a leadoff double, that the guys after him didn't get him in. But I do,
it's not the traditional flash that you would expect from a postseason performer or whatever. Like I think of the postseason and like, oh my God, this dude. You think of Seager, you think of right now Teo's kind of on a slug heater.
And even Kike, you think of the 3-homer game in 2017. You think of the home run off of Darvish last year in Game 5 of the NLDS. You think of the home runs. He doesn't have any home runs this postseason, which, I would like to see that part of Geektober show up. I am thrilled with how Kike is playing because it means no Michael Conforto.
He's being a phenomenal facilitator. And I think we had mentioned that either you and I, Jeff, or maybe Kevin and I at some point late in September when we were like, when are they going to DFA Michael Conforto? Why is he still here? And I can't believe 2 times today I've now mentioned the name Michael Conforto on the internet. But he was just there. He was a placeholder all year long for Kike Hernandez to just take that spot in left field at the start of the postseason. But the love that he deserves, 4 RBI, but 4 walks, 11 hits, 7 runs scored, and 4 multi-hit games for Kike Hernandez this postseason so far. It's why you sign him. That is why you sign him, for that. Absolutely. I love the magic. I love the voodoo.
Yeah, and it helps that he started getting hot in September because he was working his way up to this. Geektember definitely led into Geektober. And I'm hoping that we get more of the power side of Geektober too, because you don't need, with this Dodgers lineup, you don't need everybody to perform. Ohtani got 1 big hit tonight. That's great. That's all we needed from him. Would have been nice if he had not struck out on 3 pitches when he came up with bases loaded and 2 outs. But you know what? That's okay. They got the job done because everybody contributed tonight, and we'll absolutely take that. I'm looking to see. I think everybody was on base tonight. The only people without hits were just Mookie, and he did walk. And so Everybody got on base tonight. Obviously, Justin Dean didn't. He didn't get a plate appearance because he doesn't even own a bat. But he owns a glove, and they didn't use his glove until the 9th inning this time. They learned from that mistake. So it's been great. Like this game, last night's game was fun. Tonight's game was relaxing. Like it was just the only drama was, can Yamamoto finish the complete game? There wasn't any drama after, say, let's see, the Dodgers, really when they went up 3-1 in the 6th inning. Definitely when they were up 4-1 in the top of the 7th. It's like, okay, now the only question is Yamamoto at this point. And so we were able to just relax and enjoy it. After the game ended, my son said, wow, that was more chill than last night. I mean, yeah, it really was. Last night, my son and I were almost breaking each other's hands, sitting there clasping hands, watching the game, hoping that Blake Trinan can get freaking Bryce Terang out. Tonight, it's just like, hey, so how's this game going to end? On a complete game or a 8 2/3, you know? And I get that baseball would be boring if all the games were like this. But
Not for me.
I want every Dodger game to be like this. Let the other series have their excitement. I want every Dodger game to be anticlimactic victories for the Dodgers.
Yeah, and Yamamoto gems are just that much sweeter because you get to cue all of the Josh Reddick clowning on Twitter, various social media accounts. It's so much fun to watch everybody just. This is why you pay this guy that much money.
Yeah.
I like my uncle was texting me and just talking about like how nice it is to like win really easily, and that's true. I like the bullpen makes us sweat a lot, so I think as Dodger fans really just enjoy this one. Really enjoy tomorrow as a day off because. It's the postseason. Games are already high stress. With this bullpen, they'll be even higher stress. So when you can get a nice coasted win, just take it in and enjoy it. Because if they win 6 more games, I can't guarantee that any of the other wins will be as nice as this.
Yeah.
I got nothing else.
We got a super chat from Jason, 799,000 Indonesian rupiah. Or about $50 US. Awesome. He says, happy birthday, Clint from Indonesia. Don't know what to get you for your birthday. Hope this super chat works on top of the Dodgers win. Thank you, Jason.
Thank you, Jason.
We're making awesome. Clint share that. I know it's his birthday. I don't care. I do care that it's your birthday.
Say, okay, Gary.
Yeah. Last time.
Too soon?
So Kevin mentioned enjoying the day off. I'm going to spend my day off tomorrow driving with my son in my car down to Southern California so that I can be at the game on Thursday. Last time I drove down to Southern California for a Dodgers Brewers NLCS Game 3, I drove down on the day of Game 2. So I listened to Game 2 on the radio. And so I remember exactly where I was on the freeway in Mesquite, Nevada, when Justin Turner hit the home run off of Jeremy Jeffress. And that was a stressful game. That was
got lucky.
I'm like squeezing my steering wheel so hard. My daughter's freaking out with me listening on the radio. So I'm excited tomorrow that I guess I might turn on. No, I'll probably be there by the time the ALCS game is happening. So I'm just going to listen to like podcasts or an audiobook or something. I called it a book on tape the other day and my wife made fun of me, called me an old man. Like, but,
do you still put like your readers on? When you're
these are my readers. These are my readers because I can't see my computer screen without my reading glasses on. I don't wear glasses on a daily basis. It's just when I need to see my computer screen. But I'm excited for a relaxing drive tomorrow and then to go to Dodger Stadium on Thursday with optimism, and excitement. And this is great stuff. I didn't go to any postseason games last year. So the last time I was at a Dodgers postseason game was when the Dodgers went down 2-0 against the D-backs. I went to both of those games and that wasn't fun. So I'm excited for just a fun atmosphere at Dodger Stadium on Thursday, a relaxing drive tomorrow, all of this, that what the Dodgers have done the last 2 days, I feel like it was for me personally, and I appreciate that.
You know what I don't appreciate? Why did the Jays and the Mariners get 2 night games? And then we got a 3:00 game on Thursday. What the heck is that?
Yeah, the games scheduling is
ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous. Is there a Game 5 at least? Okay.
Yeah, with both series going on and both being on the West Coast on Thursday, like somebody's got to play the earlier game. We all agree the people want to see the Dodgers and the Brewers more than the Mariners and the Blue Jays. But
the Blue Jays and Mariners already get a game to themselves tomorrow.
Yeah,
you know, we have to suffer a 3:00 game. The Dodgers, even because they'll have just really been struggling, they can't get the night game to like not have to, you know, play early after the travel day. What is the scheduling? And like even after that, it's a 5:00 start and not a 7:00 start for the shared game of the Dodgers game 4 and the potential Mariners Jays game 5. That game, their game's at 7:30 again. So why is the NLCS getting all the night games?
They hate us because they ain't us.
Yeah.
I just want to say, I saw. I'm going to call out my buddy Blake Harris here on the internet for a pretty L take. The same way we're all complaining about Blake Snell not staying in the game or not being allowed to go out and finish the 9th inning. Now he was complaining about missing the opportunity to bring in Ben Kasparius, let him finish the ninth and save Yamamoto. It's like, poor Dave, man. He can't win. He just can't win.
Yeah. Why Benny Cap specifically?
I mean, we haven't seen him. I understand the logic of it, but also, like, we saw a complete game in the postseason. We saw a Dodgers pitcher throw a complete game in the postseason.
Yeah. And here's the thing.
Was this 1965?
The Dodgers weren't up 13-1. It was a 5-1 game. They weren't going to Benny Caps. They weren't going to their 13th pitcher on the roster. If they did go to the bullpen, they were going to somebody to come in and shut it down. It's going to be Alex Vesia, you know, or somebody in that level of the trust tree. So, this was, everybody wanted to see Yamamoto finish it. The situation was perfect. The pitch count, the days off, all that lined up for him to finish it. And it was a beautiful thing. And it gave us something. It would have made the 9th inning boring if it was just a relief pitcher coming in to close it out. Like, I like the relaxing, but we still had something specific we were rooting for Yamamoto to get 3 quick outs. So it was awesome.
In the chat, by the way, I loved OG Martinez says, mind you, all this winning has been happening without Clint going camping. It's worth noting it did open the postseason going camping. So
that's
right. I think that's all I needed to do. That's all I needed to do.
So this is residual camping luck?
Yeah, definitely.
RCL.
And shout out. Well, one, shout out this. I got to make sure I shout out Richie and his wife, Michelle. They got me this bobblehead of myself for my birthday. It is pretty good. Although we were talking about before the show, I think the face looks a little bit more like Jeff than anything, but I digress. I also want to make sure I shout out Alana Rizzo. She got me a birthday present as well, which is pretty cool, and it is used for camping. So thank you, Riz, for being awesome. I wanted to make sure she didn't get mad at me for not bringing it up.
Hey, and thank you, me, for giving her an idea on what to get you. She asked me for advice, you know? So
synergy.
Ken Wolcott says, just have the relief pitcher sit with Ellen Kershaw in her perch and watch complete games. Yeah, somebody on Twitter was bringing up the 2005 White Sox who won the ALCS with 4 complete games. We haven't seen anything like that since. We never will again, but 2 in a row, 17 innings from your starting pitchers in the first 2 games. And again, like it's, you wonder, like if Glasnow comes out and shoves on Thursday and throws a complete game, like Dave Roberts will be wishing for a time machine to go back and let Snell pitch, even though they won the game, but just like, to set some history. Obviously, the most important thing is winning the series. And I really do believe with Snell not having pitched on 4 days rest a single time this year, I think it made sense not to risk running his pitch count up to 120 or whatever. But I also understand why people really want to see it, because I'm one of the people who really would have loved to see a complete game last night and another complete game tonight for sure.
Yeah, I mean, we got one tonight, so we'll take that much. Glasnow is going to be looking at those boys in front of him and being like, all right, I need to do something special. He already had a very, very good outing in the NLDS, but, there's room for improvement. He can get into the 7th inning. Bare minimum, it feels like he needs to get into the 8th inning if he wants to be in that same conversation as his peers in that starting rotation. But it doesn't matter. Even if he goes 7 or 6, we mentioned before this, or early in the stream, do the Dodgers have 4 starting pitchers better than Freddie Peralta? Yeah, they do.
Oso super chat $2. Let's go Yamamoto, but they are going to go 7 games.
Yep.
Shut your mouth with that garbage. But thanks for the $2. Nah,
he's got to get some Doomer in there.
There's also Richie sent in $4.99 a little while ago. Just wanted to make sure we get it.
Did I miss Richie's?
Yeah, all Dodgers sponsored by FanDuel.
I read it in my head, but I didn't say it out loud. Yeah, all Dodgers sponsored by FanDuel. That's fantastic. Sincerely, Pete Rose. This is a tomato can free pitch series. Ohtani going full Conforto.
He'll be fine.
Richie got all his points in, but no tomato cans, and that's good.
He also said, Jeff ignored me in the chat. Jeff will also ignore the city of Devore as he drives by the 15-215 split.
I don't ignore it. I flip it off every time I drive past.
Is that technically a city? Or is that a township?
I don't know.
Does America have townships anymore?
I think, isn't Boston technically considered a township?
Oh God.
I
feel pretty good, guys.
Yeah.
2-0 series advantage. It's fun. This feels a lot better than 20. This feels a lot better than last year. Hopefully the good vibes keep happening.
Alex is trying to come up with a name for the Clotey or Clarith or Clef. I don't know.
I don't know.
I think we just call us the Three Amigos, right?
Yeah.
It's better than that whatever Kevin called us the first time.
The biggest, sexiest menage a trois on the internet.
Yep, that's the one.
DFA.
Yep,
that's a DFA.
Yep. All right, let's.
That is a firm DFA.
Kevin's in timeout for a minute. You're muted too, Kevin. Sorry.
Ken has a good point in the chat as we hang out with folks for a little bit. And by the way, we will be live tomorrow in some capacity in the evening. Get voicemails in for tomorrow. Keep them clean, but we want to know how people are feeling at the midway point of this series. But yeah, you can't cuss, but flip off a city.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't actually flip it off. I do the thing from Friends, that Ross and Monica do.
I don't know these things.
Yeah, you should watch Friends. It's a good show.
No.
All right, let's get Kevin back in here, I guess.
It's also mathematically not the midway point. It's like a third of the way. It's not technically also not a third of the way either.
Whoa! But they're gonna sweep.
Yes, but
halfway, baby.
Out of possibility is
hashtag math, baby. Also, Jeff, you owe an apology to IB Stroken because he said Devore's his home too.
Oh, well, I guess good thing I got 2 middle fingers, I guess, huh?
I apologize. We had Dermer in this one and that vulgarities.
Man, love you guys. Yeah, I don't flip people off. It is right there with swearing, things I don't do. Swell and Sausage, $1.99 super chat. Happy birthday, Clint. Go Dodgers. Good
Friday.
Stuff there.
To the Michelada Fund it goes.
Yep. So
I call this the bullpen juice. We got to replenish the bullpen juice at some point.
Isn't that just Red Bull? Isn't Red Bull the bullpen juice?
Only for Alex Vesia.
Yeah, no, I think most of them, but different good bullpen juice there. But mine is dealing with the bullpen juice.
Living bullpen juice.
Pink Pearl said that she sent in a super chat, but it didn't go through, even though it charged her. We'll look into that, but either way, we appreciate the support from Pink Pearl. Everybody hanging out with us in the chat. It does feel a lot better when postseason games. I love it when the Dodgers win. I love it when they win and Dave does something stupid. I love that a little bit more because puts more butts in the seats.
Yeah, there's not much to complain about tonight's game. I guess they loaded the bases with no outs and didn't score, but they were already up 5-1. And it was just because Teoscar wanted to see Yamamoto get back out on the mound. He's like, a long, drawn-out inning. Yama's going to get cold. Let's just get him back out there to do his thing. He's just doing a public service. Yeah, there's really not much to complain about in this game.
No, absolutely not. Kevin,
no stupid double plays that were hit 404 feet.
I can complain about the first pitch, but that was about it.
Yeah. Max Muncy's long fly ball got over the wall this time. Everything about this game was good. Let's do it again on Thursday.
Yep.
I'll be there. You'll be there, Clint, right? We'll both be at Dodger Stadium. Kevin will be.
Have the Brewers announced who's going to pitch Thursday?
I assume it's Quintana. It's the only one that makes sense.
Well, because if they haven't, because it technically could be Mizorowski.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like they're treating him as a starter.
I
Or
don't
at least
know.
not a deep starter. And that's the thing. It's like when your bullpen
He's
has
an
already been
all-star,
used
though.
this much, like, I don't know, but they got to use him at some point. It would be malpractice to not use. Alex Renteria says one thing to complain about. Dodgers were 2 for 11 with runners in scoring position today. Guess what? Brewers had 0 runners in scoring position today. So,
They had one yesterday.
yeah, they didn't get any until the 9th inning yesterday. The Dodgers starting pitchers, 17 innings, 0 runners in scoring position in these 2 games.
Before we, get out of here, I do want to ask you guys: is there any concern between you two about Roki's potential blister on his throwing hand? There was a photo that circulated that he might have a blister, or he had a bloody blister in Game 1 on his index finger.
Was that photo from Game 1? Because I thought
it was from the Philly series. Sorry, it was from Game 4.
Okay, it was the Philly series.
Yeah.
Probably not. Plus, I mean, the Dodger bullpen is so heavily rested now. Like, avoid him for 2 games if you have to. I'm okay with it. I think they're well equipped to survive without Roki. If there is a blister issue,
yeah, just keep throwing complete games. We'll be fine.
Good call.
I think that does it for us. You guys got anything else before we wrap this up?
It's time to go home.
Yeah, we had a good group here tonight. We're all already at home, but we know what Clint meant. Great group here tonight. Thank you for sticking around. Tomorrow, we're thinking possibly a voicemail and chat heavy show. Let you guys talk about how you're feeling and stuff. We're looking at probably around this time late in the evening. Between 8 and 9 p.m. Pacific tomorrow, probably. Once I've arrived at my parents' house in California after my long day of driving. So keep that on your docket. A fun, relaxing off-day episode. And beyond that, thank you for being here with us. Thank you for hanging out in the chat. A lot of good comments. Thanks for all the super chats. Thanks to the mods. If you want to join our Discord, which you really do want to, it's a lot of fun. Go to patreon.com/realfrg. $5 a month gets you access to our Discord server. Also, the $5 membership here on YouTube gets you access. Either way, come talk Dodgers with us there. It's been happier, less dooming when the Dodgers are winning games. You guys say something, Clint?
So one last thing. Also, if you can't watch us live or you don't watch us on the YouTube side of things, but you still want to make sure you're listening, make sure you check out our podcast. If you can, if you have the time off tomorrow, guys, check out, go there, rate and review us on the iTunes or on the Spotify or wherever you can. That really does help us out.
And Clint's internet strikes again. You know what Clint was saying. Listen on the podcast. Even if you're watching, listen on your way to work tomorrow. All that good stuff. Thank you to the Bleav Network for having us. Thank you to FanDuel and Delete Me for being our sponsors. And with all that said, we will talk to you tomorrow. Bye.